Hello, I'm Tanya Dalton, and this is another episode of Tanya TV. Today I want to talk to you about your kitchen. Your kitchen is the heart of your home. Think about it. When everyone comes over to your house, where do you gather? Usually in the kitchen, right? It's where we get together with our friends and our family. It's where we cook our meals. It's where we sit down and enjoy dinner with our family and talk about our days. It truly is the place where we love to be. But it can also be a place that feels very rushed. In the mornings, making lunches, gathering backpacks, gathering our things for work, getting out the door. And even in the evenings as we're getting kids together for sports activities and different events that are going on and cooking dinner and getting everything ready to go for the evening. It really can be a place that feels rushed. So I want to talk to you today about making your kitchen feel a little more like a sanctuary, a place you really want to be. So I want to talk to you about how to declutter and organize your kitchen in 4 easy steps. Now, yes, I did use the word easy there. And maybe that seems contradictory to you when you think about organizing. Maybe you think organizing is one of those very stressful, difficult things to do. And I don't blame you, because a lot of times if we're used to this idea of pulling everything out of our cabinets and everything out of the drawers and putting it in a pile, that can be really overwhelming. When you look at this giant pile of stuff, you think, why did I do this in the first place, right? So I want you to step away from that. And I want you to think about making this bite-sized and easy to tackle, little pieces at a time. So what I really recommend you do is you work one cabinet at a time, one drawer at a time, and work your way around the kitchen. Pull items out of that one drawer or that one cabinet, work on organizing those. Once that's done, you move on to the next one. The benefit of doing it this way is that you can tackle something like your kitchen in just 30 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day if you wanted to. And within a week or even 2, the whole kitchen is organized and feeling a little more right? And that's what we're really looking for. That's what I want you to start feeling like when you're in your kitchen. So what I thought might be helpful is for me to give you a little bit of a peek into my own kitchen, so you could see some of the tips and the tricks that I use to make my kitchen feel, well, a little more zen. So one of my tricks is I like to use zones in my kitchen, and one of the zones that I have is a morning zone. Now, I'm not naturally a morning person, so I do get up early and I like to get my work done early in the day, but it's not necessarily the time where I feel my happiest. So having an area that's my morning zone keeps everything together, and that's the key here. Good organization plays into your strengths and your weaknesses. For me, morning is a little bit of a weakness, so I play into that and make life feel easier. So here in my morning zone, I have everything related to mornings in my kitchen. Coffee mugs, coffee pot, all kinds of accessories, agave nectar, everything I need for my morning coffee or my morning tea. And in the cabinet below, I have water bottles and lunchbox items for making lunches to take to work or to school. So everything that I need to start my day is right here in one zone. Now, you maybe don't want to have a morning zone. That's okay. You can make zones that work for you. So maybe a good idea would be for you a drink zone where you have maybe a coffee pot and a seltzer machine, maybe your smoothie blender, and the cabinets are filled with beverage-related items. Really, it's totally up to you. What would work for you? But start thinking of your kitchen in terms of zones. What do I want to do here? Do I want this to be my baking zone? Do I want this to be my, kitchen storage zone where you keep all your Tupperware? Do I want it to be my drink zone or my morning zone? It really doesn't have to be difficult. And that way, when you have a zone, you know exactly where to go and everything is within a hand's reach, right? So let me tackle this and break it down for you in 4 simple steps so you can start to really organize your own kitchen. The first step is to prep. Start by picking one area of your kitchen. As I said, we want to break it down and make it bite-sized, make it easy. So choose one cabinet or drawer to start with. Now, there's 2 ways you could go with this. You could start with the easiest one so you get a nice quick win. That's a good way to go. Or you could go with your most frustrating area. And maybe then you'll have a really good sense of accomplishment and use that momentum to move you forward. Really, it's up to you. I don't want to tell you where you need to start. I want you to start in the area that feels best to you. And then I want you to ask yourself, do I want to do this by myself? Or do I want some help? If you want some help, who's going to help you? Now, one of the things I really like to encourage people to do is when you're working on a space like the kitchen, a common space, is bring your family in or your roommate or whoever it is that lives with you, whoever is on your team, bring them into the organizing process. That makes it so that they are more invested in the systems. Because when you go into the kitchen and you create a very elaborate system and then no one else uses it, that can become really frustrating, right? That can become so frustrating when you have to go back every 6 months and reorganize. So if you want to bring your team into it, I think that's a great way to do it. Maybe figure out a fun reward or activity that you guys can do together once you've accomplished this task. So get in the mood, turn on some fun music, put on a podcast, remove distractions like TV and cell phones. And then I want you to gather 3 things. Either 3 bags or 3 bins, a piece of paper, and a pen. And we're going to label these containers keep, trash, and donate. And that brings us to step number 2, sort. This is the time where we're going to be rolling up our sleeves and getting started. And we're going to use those 3 containers, keep, donate, and trash, as we pull everything out. Now, here's the trick when we do our sort. I want you to go with your gut. I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to think about, ooh, should I keep this item? Should I not? I don't know. Don't worry about it at this point. We'll worry about that later. Just go with your first reaction. So, items that go in your keep bin are things that you feel, maybe I want to keep. Doesn't mean we're definitely going to keep them in the long run. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I want to encourage you to touch things one time and then put it in whichever bin it belongs in. So if it's a keep, it's a, ooh, definitely want to keep it, or maybe want to keep. What I would encourage you to do with that keep bin is start sorting a little bit as you go. If you're seeing that you have several, let's say, cake pans or muffin tins or things like that, start piling those together. In the other bins, you have trash. Things that are broken, things that are past expiration. That one's a pretty easy bin. And the third bin is donate. So items that are not trash, that are still usable, but you probably haven't used them in like 6 months or longer, but they would be great for someone else to use. So that's it for step number 2. Pretty easy because you don't have to do a lot of thinking. It really is touch an item once and put it in its bin, exactly where it needs to go. And now we're at step number 3, purge. I'm going to be honest with you. This is sometimes the hardest part because this is when we're going to go back through that keep pile and make some of those tough decisions. Now, the items we put in our trash and our donate bins, those are there and we're not going back to revisit them. Once they go into the trash or donate bin, they are done. We have moved on from them and we're not going to peek back in that bin. But the keep bin, we want to go back through and we want to do kind of a second sort. We want to make sure, are the items in here things I really want to keep? During that first sort, we didn't really think about it. We just went with our gut, right? This is a chance for us to dive a little bit deeper. Now, one of the questions we hear a lot about is asking the question, does this spark joy? And I love that question. I really do, because I believe we could all use a lot more joy in our lives. And I think it totally works when we're talking about the closet or we're talking about our book collection, things that do spark joy. But when I think about pots and pans and whisks and all kinds of things like that, they're not really sparking joy for me. So the answer would be no, not really on a regular basis. Even though I love to cook, my whisk doesn't really bring me a lot of joy. So I want you to ask questions like, do I use this? Do I need this? Do I love this? And really ask yourself those deeper questions. There's a lot of value to that idea of joy and loving what you're using those tools for. So do keep that in mind. Now, this second sort, like I said, can be a little bit difficult. This is a great time to bring in an accountability partner if you are doing this organizing all on your own. So somebody who is not emotionally invested, a significant other, a friend, someone who can take their sentimental side out of it. So I want you to keep that in mind. And when you're going through this second sort and you're having to let go of items that, maybe that are in good shape, I want you to keep in mind that we're not throwing them away. We can donate them. We can give them to organizations that will be selling them to put forth money towards their missions that you care about. It can also be a way to give back to other people. There are a lot of people who do all of their shopping at these thrift stores that we're donating to, and that can really make their day to have a great cake pan or a great set of plates that you're no longer using. Think about what you need and begin to look at it as this is a way for you to help others in need. For items that you are feeling sentimental about, I would really encourage you to set those out in a place of honor. Now, if something that you received, let's say the candy dish from your great Aunt Dorothy, means something to you, you're not really, putting it in a place of honor when it's sitting at the back of a shelf getting dusty. Things that are truly sentimental to you should be on display. They should be used on a regular basis so that those people that they remind you of are being honored. So do keep that in mind. The other thing to think about during this second sort, during this purge phase, is this. Do I need so many items? Do you need 8 muffin tins? This is why it's good to start piling things in that keep pile together. You might find that you actually do have 8 muffin tins. You probably only need 2 or 3 unless you own a cupcake business. So take those items that you no longer want, move them over to donate. This is a great chance for you to give back just by organizing your kitchen. And then our fourth step is organize. This is where you can begin to create those zones like we talked about at the beginning of the video. Start grouping items together and figure out where it makes sense to use them. Where's the best place to use these items? Do you want to have zones? Do you want to have your plates close to the dishwasher, or would you rather have them closer over to the oven? You can also use things like wire shelves to create multiple levels. In my plate and bowl cabinet, I've doubled the space simply by using a wire shelf that I found. Now, one of the things that tends to happen when we talk about organizing is we start to think about how much money it's going to cost. And we think, oh, I don't have the money to do that. I want you to walk away from that. Organizing doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Yes, there are some beautiful bins and dividers out there that cost a lot of money. And maybe that's something you want to slowly incorporate into your organization. We don't have to do it all at once. That can get really expensive. There's a lot of ways to repurpose things that we already have, like old Tupperware containers. That's one of the things that my sister does. I have a friend who goes to IKEA on a regular basis and picks up a couple of organizational items every time she goes. The dollar store is a great resource. Or reuse old boxes you already have, old oatmeal boxes, or boxes that you used to have, your fruit chews in and things like that. Cut off the tops and reuse those. Those are an easy way to find something inexpensive that can divide up your drawers. Now, I really want to encourage you to think outside of the box. I made some drawer dividers just by spending $5 and an afternoon in the garage with my kids, and that allowed me to really create a customized divider for my drawers. Super easy to do and inexpensive as well. So think outside of the box and figure out what works for you. But what I want you to remember is this. Break down this task. Don't make it so big and overwhelming that you have to organize your kitchen in a day. Take your time, spend a week or 2, spend a month doing it. Just keep it consistent. Work every day or every other day for 15 or 30 minutes, and before you know it, it'll be done. And I really want to encourage you to let go of the things that you don't use or that you don't really love. Let's really try our best to keep things in our homes that we really do enjoy using and the things that do spark joy. One last thing I want to encourage you to do is to take before and after photos. Often, when we're in the middle of a project, we forget how far we've come. So take a picture before so you can look back and see how well you've done once you've completed the task. Now, if you're a person who enjoys organizing, I am actually doing an organizational challenge in my group this coming month. If you're interested, the group is free to join. We do challenges every single month, and we will be organizing our closets for the month. So if you're interested, you can go to inkwellpress.com/group. It's a productivity group where we talk about all things productivity. And like I said, we have monthly challenges to help you feel a little more productive. If you're interested in finding more information on how to organize just about anything, I've got a podcast episode for you. Podcast episode number 111. Just go to inkwellpress.com/podcast and you'll be able to find that there, where I go really in depth with all the tips I shared with you today. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because I have new videos every single month. Now, before I sign off, I want you to put in the comments below what zone you would like to have in your kitchen. Is it a drink zone? Is it a morning zone? A baking zone? Tell me what zone you're going to be putting in your kitchen as you begin to organize. All right, until next time, have a beautiful and productive week.